This isn't going to be a positive video, but I'd really appreciate if you guys hung around, as I want to be upfront and honest about a mistake I've made.
Me swear was the first draft. Me no did steroids. Me no did nothing wrong. Me 100% natural. 120 kilograms. Deadlift 939. Bench press 485. Squats 700 plus. Natural. Coach Greg, and in today's video, a natty or not on none other than famous powerlifter Nanjo Chinye, who goes by nanjo.fitness on Instagram. This guy received an 18-month ban from powerlifting in the IPF that goes by WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, and he's been banned for 18 months. And so you're thinking, well, if he's been banned, why am I doing a natty or not? Clearly, he's on steroids. But here's the catch. He says that he's natural. And so let's see what he says. I can explain what's going on. Let's get right into it.
This isn't going to be a positive video, but I'd really appreciate if you guys hung around, as I want to be upfront and honest about a mistake I've made.
Me swear was the first draft. Me no did steroids. Me no did nothing wrong. Me 100% natural. 120 kilograms. Deadlift 939. Bench press 485. Squats 700 plus. Natural.
I'm suspended from competing in the IPF for 18 months. I want to preface this by saying I'm clean. I've always been a clean athlete.
Of course he's going to say that he's natural. I mean, why wouldn't he? His sponsors, for example, Gymshark and others, would they want to know that he's perhaps using performance-enhancing drugs to achieve those monumental lifts?
And this is a mistake made through administrative negligence.
Already deflecting. If it was just one mistake, you wouldn't currently ban. It takes 3 administrative negligence mistakes, which could be done on purpose, very easily. If someone were coaching this man and saying, how could you get away with taking steroids and not actually get caught failing a drug test? Well, they could take notes on this video.
Due to competing at the highest level in powerlifting, I was emailed to join the Adams list. This is essentially a list where you agree to be randomly drug tested at 1 hour at any point during the day.
You don't just agree to it, you have to or you can't compete. At the top, people know that there are in fact people taking steroids. If you can't get tested at any time without knowing in advance of those drug tests, you can very easily pass. If you only got tested at the World Powerlifting Championships, you could take testosterone suspension for 50 weeks straight, 500 milligrams a week. You could perhaps put on 20, 30 pounds, who knows? 2 weeks before the test, you stop taking the testosterone. And by the competition, you would pass that drug test. Now, would you pass blood work? No. That is why I ask people to send me their blood work. Simply passing a drug test when you know in advance about that drug test, it doesn't prove that you're natural. And so unless you're randomly tested, it is very easy to pass, and you could very easily be abusing substances leading up to that competition, as you all know.
Through negligence on my own end, I didn't see this email and I didn't respond to it, and that counts as a strike.
It's possible that he didn't see the message. You know, I just don't read my emails. I don't go on social media. I don't post on Instagram. I don't go on YouTube ever. I mean, I'm just one of those people that I stay off grid. Man has nearly 200,000 followers on Instagram. He makes a living from doing social media. What are the odds that he's just not going to see an important message from his powerlifting federation? It's possible. It's also possible that he's thinking, holy shit, I'm on performance enhancing drugs right now. They're asking me to do these things to get tested. And so if I respond to this message and they ask to test me, then I'm fucked. Let's just not respond. I mean, after all, if they don't come see me, if they don't test me, well, I'm clearly innocent, right? It's kind of like when you did something wrong and somebody sues you and they walk up to you, they knock on the door, and eventually you've been served. And so for months, you've been evading them. If athletes could just all use the excuse, oh, I didn't get the email, I didn't get that phone call, when would they ever be served? And so it's possible, but they don't give a shit. The IPF, they don't care. And so that's 1 strike, 3 strikes, and you're out.
I was then emailed again to join the list and fill in my information. I filled in information, but I did it incorrectly, which caused a 2nd strike.
You finally went and filled out the information, but you did it incorrectly. And what could that be? Well, you write the wrong address. And so, for example, if you say you live in room 272, but you're in room 262, how could they come and test you? You're not in that room. If you say you're training at Blue Lobster Fitness Gym, but you're training at Seco Bar Gym, well, they would show up to that gym and you wouldn't be there. And so you kind of got to fill out the form correctly. It doesn't look good if you don't know how to do things correctly. You ask questions. You say, hey, is this done appropriately? This is now 2 strikes. 1 strike, it could have been a mistake. 2, well, it's certainly possible. But remember, it's not until 3 strikes that you're out.
I was then emailed again.
What the fuck? An emod. I've heard this 16 times. I've emod again. Email. I'm hoping it's email. I'm hoping it's not emod means some kind of other thing. Maybe there's a new technology you're emodded.
They then came to test me at my uni accommodation, and due to the way my uni accommodation is set up, you need a key in order to enter. So as they weren't able to enter, this counted as a 3rd strike.
When you fill out these forms, let me make it clear. They ask for everything that you would need to say in order for them to test you. You can't just say, oh, I forgot that you needed the passcode to get in. Oopsie, bro, it isn't like writing your first draft. This is not an excuse. And so perhaps he lives in a dorm room, a building, a residence, a hotel, a motel. In any regards, you have to say exactly how they can get in there to test you. And so imagine, it's important, it's imperative. Your career is on the line. And you just say, yeah, I'm in room 272. You just show up and I'm good. Meanwhile, you need a key to get in the front door. Didn't mention that. Bro, becoming Mr. Mike wasn't on my 2026 bingo card.
The consequence of 3 strikes is usually a 2-year suspension. But due to me explaining context to the IPF, they thankfully have reduced this to 18 months.
He says that because he wants you to believe that the IPF felt sorry for his clerical errors, that he probably is natural, and they felt guilty, but they hell had to give him the suspension. But it's only 18 months, which means he's probably innocent. That is why he's saying that. Do you understand this? He's not saying, I take full responsibility. 3 clerical errors in a row, 3 strikes, and you're out. I was served with an 18-month sentence, and deservedly so. And so, of course, many of you are wondering, am I in fact natural? The answer is yes. Here's the proof. Here is my blood work. Now, I know that many of you are not going to believe me. I mean, after all, I did fail to show up to these tests, but this blood work shows my FSH, my LH, my testosterone, my cholesterol, everything. You can send it to Coach Greg, send it to Derek. Derek doesn't do these things. You can send it to Coach Greg and he will make a video verifying if I was in fact natty or not. Instead of that, no blood work, just trust me, bro. And so do you see why I'm so suspicious? I'm watching the way he's answering these questions and I'm picturing exactly what he's doing. He knows that an appeal to sympathy can easily work. Trust me, I'm natural. It's so very sad.
I'm truly sorry and I'm really disappointed in myself, and I recognize that I've let both myself and you guys down.
That sentence is actually good. I'm truly sorry I've let you guys as well as myself down. I like this sentence. He should have stuck with that. He didn't need some of this other rhetoric that was being spewed. But let's move on.
I've not held myself to the highest standard as an elite level athlete.
Correct, especially after 2 strikes. You ensure that everything is done right. You literally would call them and say, look, I know I have 2 strikes. Can you please test me right now? Can I get my blood work done? Is there anything extra I can do? I will drive to your office right now. Where do you want me to be tested? And I want to be tested more than just once. I'm 100% natural. Please test me more than everyone else. Can I pay to get drug tested? At any time, please test me. My audience doesn't believe me, but I'm truly natural. Please test me. That's what I would do.
I'm using this 18-month suspension as a time to both learn and grow.
I'm using this 18-month suspension as a time to get turk and swole. You know, for 18 months now, I can't compete, and so all I can do is train. This would be a great time to take even more. Maybe it's possible. Is it possible that that's what's going on? Or is it possible that the entire time he knew there was this 3-strike rule? He could have been thinking, I'm not going any competitions right now. It's the off season. And so I'm going to blast hella gear. I'm going to get that deadlift to over 1,000 pounds. I'm going to put on so much muscle. And I'm going to change my muscle nuclei so that I'll have a competitive advantage in the future when I actually hop off. Until those 3 strikes happen, he can take whatever he wants. They write him the message, "We need to test you." I didn't see the message. You then double your doses yet again. You continue to train. You then send him the information, but you do it wrong. Again, double your doses. And when they do lock it down, give them the wrong address. And so what typically happens is this happens in several sports, including cycling. What athletes will do is they'll fail to tell them about the vacation that they're going on. You know, you're going to 2 weeks vacation in the Maldives or perhaps in Mexico, wherever. And so for 2 weeks, you can use EPO, test suspension, you name it. And if they come knocking at your door, hey, it's a strike. I wasn't there. I was on vacation. When they say, what time do you go to the gym? Oh, I'm at this gym from 4 till 6. And you, in fact, are training in the morning. And so when they go to test you at the gym, you're not there. They call you. Hey, you weren't at the gym. You're supposed to be there. It's on your locator form. Where are you? I didn't look at my phone. I missed a message. I'm sorry, it's 1 strike. And so you can see how people can deliberately take advantage of these 3 strikes in order to get away with taking substances. You might be thinking, oh, they can just use Tren and so on. No, they're not going to use Tren because Tren stays in your system too long. But there are substances you could take, for example, test suspension that clears your system very, very fast. And so if you're an intelligent athlete, a power lifter, and you want to evade a drug test, and you want to go and abuse the 3 strike and you're out system, then you absolutely can. People do this and they exploit it on purpose. And so that is why even if you haven't failed a drug test. He hasn't failed a drug test. We don't know for sure if he's taken steroids, SARMs, you name it. And so he has what's called plausible deniability. Hence, he's only got an 18-month suspension. What they should be doing is continuing to test him for the rest of the 18 months, perhaps every single month, or he should be going out of his way to not only show that he's natural, but to prove it. If I ever fail a test, do like Hussein Farhat, you get $1 million. Come test me at any time. If he did that, got his blood work done at multiple times, and in particular, if he continued to lift at an exceedingly high rate, for example, he sets a PR closely after getting his blood work taken, or he sets a PR and the day after gets his blood work, that would almost assure that bro is 100% natural. And so if he wants to prove to the world that he's natural, he needs to set a PR, get his blood work, and send it to me. Now, it doesn't have to be me. It can, of course, be other people. But this is what he needs to do in order to get back his credibility.
There's so many more aspects that I didn't consider and through negligence of my own have landed me in this situation.
Thankfully, he says, through negligence of my own. These are more powerful words. And so 3/4 of this apology is good. About 1/4 is deflecting and placing blame on other people. I do believe he's doing that because he's wanting to convince you that he's 100% natural, even if he isn't. Do I know if he's 100% natural or if he isn't? I do not. He has plausible deniability. Now, if he does want to have us believe him, he's going to have to continue to set these records and he's going to have to get drug tested more than anyone else. He has been red flagged. If you just believe that he's natural because you're a friend of him or that you like him or he's a nice guy, then you're just an idiot. Just because he's friendly and or nice or you like him, it doesn't mean that he's natural. And so if you want to compare his lifts, I believe it's 938-pound deadlift. Natural, okay, guys? In comparison, Thor, not natural. Eddie Hall, not natural. They only lift 150, perhaps a little bit more than that. And so if he's actually natural and used performance-enhancing drugs, would he deadlift 1,200? What would he be lifting? And so the fact that he claims to be natural, it's highly suspicious because his lifts are so exceedingly strong. It doesn't guarantee that he's natural, nor does it guarantee that he's enhanced. However, 3 strikes and you're out. In the eyes of IPF, it's the same thing as failing a drug test. Tread and Jerry's over here. Hot take. Powerlifters claiming natural yet are doing supernatural feats of strength is equally as destructive and deceptive as bodybuilders who claim natural but are on performance-enhancing drugs. Fail drug test? X. Avoid drug test? Check. Did he fail the drug test? No. He simply avoided it. And so perhaps he has the hack. Anyone defending this in the IPF should also be tested immediately. Picture this. You're his main competition. Basically, it's you against him. You're the 2 best in your weight class in the world. you discover that he has failed to show up to a drug test and gotten 3 strikes, while in comparison, you never had any strikes and you were literally tested and you passed. Would you not be thinking, why did they let bro off so easy? Only 18 months to what? Use more performance-enhancing drugs and cycle off of them, get back into the IPF, show up and get tested with all the advantages of having trained for 18 months without competing. Don't play with Adams. 3 strikes already. My boy out here speed running the violation system. It's okay though, you will be back with 1,100 keys total. This is unfair strike, as entering the accommodations is their responsibility. No, it's your responsibility to tell them how they can enter it. Imagine if you wanted to get Uber Eats and you ordered it and they said, hey, we can't get into your room. And you say, no, leave it at my door. Well, they're like, yeah, but you didn't give me your code. You need to tell me I could buzz you up. How am I supposed to come and deliver the Uber Eats if you don't give me the code to buzz up? They don't care. Seen it happen with a world champ before. Her hotel room was flooded and she stayed with another lifter at an international and they counted it as a miss. If it's flooded, you have to tell them where you are. I mean, a lot of people don't know what's going on right now. They don't understand what's happening. But if you're not staying where you're said that you're staying, it's on you. It's on your onus to inform them. You can't just say, I'm staying at this hotel in room 307 and then go to a different hotel and say, oh, but I moved. You have to say, I'm not sleeping here anymore. I've moved to this room. You type it out. It's not 1943. We have email. We have the ability to inform others in advance of what's happening. You guys are making so many excuses for this people, I can't even understand it. Bro's about to have a crazy training arc. 18-month off season equals 1,000-pound deadlift. And so the main take-home message of this video, obviously, is not to abuse steroids, to take Turk instead. With Turk instead, you can increase your deadlift, squat, bench press, whatever, put on more muscle, recover faster, train harder, and you have no fear of failing the drug test. Now, it is on WADA's watch list, ecdy steroids and so on, but it's not illegal. And so you could take this entire box, although you shouldn't take more than 3 pills a day, and show up to the drug test, get tested, and pass. And so you have no fear. You can literally respond to the EMOD.
I was then EMOD again.
You can tell them the exact address of where you actually are. And you can give them the buzz up code. You can tell them everything with no fear of failing. You say, hey, show up and test me no matter what. In the same sense that you can show up and test Hussein at any time and he will pass the drug test. If you take Turk Builder Max and not abuse performance enhancing drugs, you have no fears. It's not going to improve your bench press as much as Tren, but it is going to help, and it's far superior than creatine. And remember, if you are in fact unemployed, which most of you are, you can use code unemployed for 20% off. You can also use code Greg for 15% off. And you do so by clicking the link in description. Now, if he wants to get his blood work done, you could perhaps go to Algo RX, get them to test everything. If your testosterone levels are crushed, you could get a prescription for testosterone, aka HRT. Maybe you could get enclomiphene instead, glutathione, telmisartan, or perhaps some GLPs to help you to lose the weight. And these are all pharmaceutical medications. Say it with me. Pharmaceutical. It's not some research chemical, not for human consumption. It's prescribed by doctors, not illegal, all above board, at extremely low prices, much lower than Merrick Health. And so please compare. Price shop. Go to Merrick Health, look at how much more they're charging, and then go to AlgoRx. And when you see how much cheaper it is, you can use code Greg to save 10% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the Algo for RX, click the link. Don't forget to watch those 2 bloops. And of course, if you want to be sponsored by HTLT Supplements, click the link and apply to carry all the various supplements in your store. Click the link. And to have coaching plans by myself and my team, the link as well. And until next time, I am out.